Hello, so guys. All right, guys. So today is November the 16th, 2024, and I did create a blog site acknowledging that I am Agent Khaled Sandiata Hassan, and an agent and operative Khaled Hassan. I do have contracts with the Central Intelligence Agency and INTERPOL. Yes, I was born Shawn Dexter John, and my literal name, my literal identity, still my primary identity here in the United States is Shawn Dexter John. But I am Khaled Hassan in Canadian records as part of my job with INTERPOL and the Central Intelligence Agency. That's my secondary identity. I haven't lied about that whatsoever. And yeah, and I do have a perfect American accent. It's not a Canadian accent, but it's compatible with Canadian accents for the most part. Well, English-speaking Canadian accents, which is clearly based on the American experience or the American influence, naturally. But I would like you guys to understand that the paper that I'm going to write today is based on facts, and facts are not based on beliefs. Some beliefs are based on facts, but facts are not based on beliefs. Facts are what are actual, not what are just proven, but what are actual, whether it's proven by you or not. That's what a fact is. We find out what facts are. We don't decide what facts are based on scientific theories and models and their success based on perception or applauses or audiences, showing a thumbs up or checking off on something. Facts are facts. Facts are reality based on what the physical world allows for, what the physical world respects and are authorized by. That's what facts are, okay? The physical world, physics, nature, humanity, all of that are based on facts, scientific facts. Religion speaks of facts and what are metaphorically, communicative on what is beyond our dimension and what cannot yet be revealed, but what has to be revealed in preparation for a one-day meeting God while He is in the higher dimension and being with God while He is in the higher dimension, meaning heaven. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Religion does not combat facts. Science and religion, they work one in hand. They work hand in hand. They work as one hand, actually. Or you might argue that they work as two hands. Okay? Science provides what religion cannot provide. Science provides facts. It does not teach anything. Religion provides the golden rule. It acknowledges God, and it says that what you do unto others, you shall expect done unto you. Or simply do unto others as you would have them do unto you, or you would like them doing unto you. And only a simple-minded person would think that I'm inferring anything superficial or trivial. This applies to everything, and it applies to everyone. I am who I say I am. I am who I have consistently said that I am. God. Do you guys understand? This is not a joke in any sort of way. But anyway, I'm going to prove that I am who I say I am to the intelligence community, the Central Intelligence Agency, and INTERPOL, and the United Nations and so forth, the governance system of the United Nations. But you don't have to believe it, but I'm going to prove to the scientific assessors that I am who I say I am. Well, at least I'm going to prove to some sort of plausibility if they defy logic. That's okay. But this is what I'm saying to you guys. The work paper that I'm going to write today, which is on DNA and genotypic and phenotypic expression, the work paper has to do with reality, the topics that I'm going to speak on, the generality of DNA, and specifically genotypic and phenotypic expression have to do with reality, facts. Okay, it's not made up by any white philosopher trying to confuse black people who believe that they can actually sexually reproduce children with white women. It was not a joke. It has never been a joke. It was not inspired by a joke. It is not secretly a joke because it's indecipherable as a joke. It is just not part of any joviality. Do you guys understand? So you guys being confident about being wrong and communicating that confidence in others or to others does not mean that you guys are right, and it does not make you guys right. I promise you, that's what you guys are going to find out. If you guys are not good, you guys are going to be on the losing side, and you guys are going to find out that the applauses and the audience and the secret meetings that you guys have had, all putting up a thumbs up in all white rooms, does not mean that race mixing is just a theory or a social concept, as if that actually makes sense when you guys say that, or when you guys conclude that, or when you guys come up with very logical deduction processes to allude to that being a great plausibility or something that is manufacturable in reality. Okay guys, so I'm going to write a work paper today, and hopefully I'm going to have it published by the end of the day, and this or early tomorrow morning, or by midday, and certainly it's going to be on and certainly it's going to be on information that which are known to scientists all over the world, medical scientists and regular physicians and scientists outside of the medical. So what I'm going to write on today is consistently acknowledged as a known fact to medical scientists, medical doctors, men and physicians of the various specializations or concentrations, and also known outside of the scientific world by the popular culture, and certainly is acknowledged by the generality of the scientific community, scientists, beyond medical, experts and so forth. Do you guys understand? You guys were not going to ever, if you guys are not going to win on the side of bad, eventually you guys are going to find out, especially by the time you guys are ready to retire out of work, that being on the side of bad because you have a great population or a very powerful population supporting a particular, bias or bigotry or ideology never meant that you were right in being bad or being abusive or being negligent. It never meant that you were right, okay? In being arbitrarily in the enforcement of law, or abusively in the enforcement of law, or irrationally or illogically in the enforcement of law. And what you understand as right isn't just based on what you have grown up believing right is. The most basic, once again, the most basic, teachings the most basic teachings in our education system, whether it's elementary, middle school, high school, university, whatever it is, it teaches that that information should guide our understandings and our standard beliefs when it comes to human relations and interaction itself. What is personal, and you have the right to believe it. But when you're interacting with the population, especially when you're working, when you're employed by a government employer or a private, sector employer or private industry employer, you have to respect that what are facts are facts. You have to respect that what is a fact is always a fact. And what is considered fact-like or factual by government in the application of constitutional law or federal statute has to be respected. You have to respect that DNA is acknowledged by federal statute as scientifically factual and not just plausible, but when it comes to sexual reproduction and when it comes to parenthood and when it comes to lineage and so forth, DNA does provide communication efforts which are scientific, factual, and straight to the point and direct. It provides exactly what you think it provides. It provides who the parents are of any particular person, and it does provide the racial background, the genetic background, the lineage. It does that. DNA results provide that, meaning the information honestly and authentically revealed in assessing genetic information that having to do, whether you find that information within the white blood cells or whether you find it elsewhere within the biology of a person. This is what I had a hard time understanding. An individual, when I said that DNA decides the parentage of a person, when I said that DNA decides the parentage of a person, meaning the sperms of the particular father of an individual is always reflected in the offspring genetic information. When I said that, they said, well, can spit actually, infect? This is what they actually said. Can spit infect a white woman's egg? What the hell are you talking about? What do you mean by that when you say can spit? But everything within the human body has DNA, so can spit, No, that's not how biology works, is what I had to say to them. They did not make sense when they thought that I was inferring that, and they actually believe that that's what black people believe or Asians believe when they have white wives or white, co-students in their classrooms or white colleagues at their workplace. They really believe that black people and only black people or minorities and only minorities literally believe that spit and toenails and hair follicles are believable as an impregnating device or tool to create an offspring with a white woman. They really believe that people just believe crazy stuff. They had no idea that they were out of their minds. And this wasn't just individuals who dated women in the past or high school classmates in the past who ended up having biracial kids. This was just white people across the board who literally believed that it was just in black people's mind that they actually could have biracial kids, that they could actually have children with light-skinned Asians or European whites. They really believed that it was shockingly absurd that they believed that. And now they are confronted with being told by agents who lied to them the whole way through that yes, DNA is real and blood and the blood test, when it searches out DNA and genetic, information and coding is factual. They were baffled. They were in shock that the agents lied to them for decades. And when we say genetic coding, this does not infer that aliens from other parts of the world have provide other parts of the world or the universe, however you want to label the universe, that aliens brought over devices or technologies that allowed them to protect the white genetic information or the coding of DNA or coding of genetic information from intermingling or intermixing or corresponding or merging or becoming reproductive with that of males or females of other races or other ethnicities. All kinds of stuff became believable to these individuals when they bought into white supremacy, when they bought into white militias, when they bought into the revived KKK, when they bought into white you know, you know, military programs, made secret or hidden from the rest of the population and so forth. When they bought into these things and they saw the privileges and they saw the incentives of buying into these things, and after years and decades of being trained to believe that it was right and that it's based on realities, some sort of superiority, stature, everything said counter to that sounds absurd and nonsensical. And stop inferring that I am of the same sort of lack of aptitude. Stop inferring that. You guys knew that from the get-go that you guys did not make sense, and saying that DNA does not make sense, and that mixing does not make sense, that there's no mixed individuals, just random expressions of, no, there's no random expressions. Okay, I'm gonna have to explain this to this. Listen, Matt Damon. My biracial kids with your ex-wife, they are not biracial because of any random expression of phenotypic information. And there is no dominance over the genotypic, coding of one's biology by any phenotypic expression. Do you understand? Matt Damon, move on with your life. You are not going to prove to a person who's literally a genius and not schizophrenic or dyslexic as you want to believe that he's wrong in being right and wrong in believing in facts which hurt people, whether because of their racist belief, social belief, or because of past romantic, emotions. Do you guys understand? So once again, I do have children with Matt Damon's ex-wife. I do have children with George Clooney's ex-wife. And I do have children of Brad Pitt's ex-girlfriend. And they all wanted to believe that because they were hanging out with black people at times, for professional reasons, somehow it influenced these women's sexual reproductive system where their offspring exhibited black-like features. They just wanted to believe that. And I've had to deal with working with these people, and providing them some sort of therapeutic, relief. And they thought that meant, being a joke to them. So when you guys are confused to why I destroyed the life of Brad Pitt and Matt Damon, and have them, looking so fucking crazy every time you guys see them because they were abusing my children when they figured out that my children were serious in saying that they are African American or black. Don't be confused about what I've done to them. I have placed them in reformative programs and stuff of that nature. I've got them into disability claims and applications and so forth to actually resolve. I haven't destroyed their lives, but I've destroyed their social clubs, their racist social clubs, which led to Matt Damon actually shooting a gun at someone in Hollywood who's very famous, a black actor, and he actually thought it was the right thing to do because this black actor kept saying that it was okay to mix. So they were placed in reformative programs. They must be bipolar. They were placed under therapeutic assessment and treatment, and they should be able to get disabilities and find their asses in Canada and leave me the fuck alone and leave the American people alone. Let them go to Canada and reform and rehabilitate. Let them find a new lives out there. Okay? Now that's part of the restitution. The restitution program only provided to victims, and they are not victims. And we are not going to force anyone out of the country, but we do give them deals. They were caught stealing the social security numbers of some of the black male actors and taking away their salaries and so forth, so their social security numbers were disqualified. They spoke with the Canadian government requesting help, and the Canadian government said yes, they would take them in. Brad Pitt, George Clooney, and Matt Damon. The Canadian government will take them in. What is going to happen over the next 2 months and so forth regarding World War III will help serve as a cover so that they can move to Canada and possibly for good. Okay? That's what I meant by that. I'm not forcing anyone out of the country against his or her right whatsoever. I'm not doing anything that's unlawful, but I do provide mediation. And when I say restitution, I am not making up shit, and I'm not providing restitution to famous people who messed up, who were bamboozled by any system. That's not what I meant. Do you guys understand? How is that a restitution to anyone? I don't want my social security number ever used ever again. I don't want my social security number ever used by any other individual ever again. I don't want my identity ever used by any individual ever again. It's because I own too many assets and it must be that of a white person. No, I am going to have the peace of mind knowing that they won't bother me anymore. And since they were so aggressive, obviously, the restitution provided to me and that which supplemented it or complemented it regarding them deciding to go to Canada and not being made subject to further consideration of prosecution and additional convictions where convictions were rendered seems appropriate. Do you guys understand? And when I demonstrate my personality, when I reveal my profile, at the beginning of the video recording, you see that I'm detailing that I'm the particular person publishing this video recording. It's not to say come get me. No, that's not what's going on. I'm sending these video recordings to safe offices and so forth with Interpol and the Central Intelligence Agency, and they need to know that it's me. No one is going to come over here and threaten me whatsoever. And I am not asking for any investigation or audit of me. That's not what's going on whatsoever. Do you guys understand? But anyway, there is no random expression within any particular person which is going to counter the realities of sexual reproduction between different races, individuals of different races. Okay? Even in albinos in the African or the African American communities, you literally see that the albinism does not counter the reality that this particular individual is African American or African or Afro-Caribbean or Afro-South American or such. But even if the phenotype does not reveal that sort of ancestry, even though the phenotype, meaning the physical appearance of that particular individual, does not reveal that, the DNA does reveal that when it comes to the genetic information. Okay? So I want you guys to let go of some of the nonsense that you guys really thought that you guys were going to invest in. You guys are not going to Canada to create Canadian militias which are exempt from federal law, prohibiting, American militias not within the United States military system and regulatory constraints. I don't want you guys thinking that you guys are going to Canada, black or white, for any sort of, anti-immigrant or anti-globalist, movement, which has to do with harming people. I don't want you guys believing that anymore. And I certainly did not want you guys believing that from the get-go. But I want you guys to understand that I'm being assertive in saying I don't want you guys to believe that. I knew you guys believed that before, but certainly I cannot handle you guys believing this anymore. Not what I'm saying, what you guys believed in. The crazy stuff that I just explained. Okay? And you guys are not going to get what you guys want out of me subconsciously by giving me what you guys think that I want. Superficially, I don't know why you guys actually thought that worked. Okay, well, they said people are emotionally distraught, people are traumatized by some of the things that they went through, and maybe that's why they thought some of these things. But when people outside the situations came in, that's what a reasonable person, a person who has evolved, would conclude. Well, yeah, when people not related to the political situation, got into the debate and were just awfully racist, we started believing that it was just about racism and not just emotional trauma. That's a starting point. That's a starting point. Okay, so the acknowledgement of what I just, the acknowledgement that an outside influence might have forced you guys into some sort of awful, disposition in belief or perspective, or acting on the belief or perspective is right. And when I just nodded my head from left to right, I was not saying that what I just said preceding that is untrue. That's not what I inferred. And there's no subconscious in me that's trying to communicate that. I am testing you guys while telling you guys the truth. Do you guys understand? You guys let it go.